Hello ladies and gentlemen, so today I'm going to go over this motherboard. It is a Gigabyte motherboard. It is called the F2A88X-D3H. It's an FM2 plus socket motherboard. Got the 88X chipset, socket FM2 plus, ultra durable by Gigabyte. 4 plus, ultra durable. It's got new heat sinks. Lower RDS on MOSFETs, and a UEFI dual BIOS, which is really cool. Dual BIOS is awesome, especially if you're a first-time PC builder and you're not 100% sure if you should do something. It takes a little bit of the risk out of BIOS and stuff. So, advertised performance based on okay. So this pretty much just says everything about it. Says what you get here. We'll go over that inside the box. So you get a lot of cool stuff with this. Up to 4K support. If you have a very APU, if you could go ahead and focus, that'd be great. I think you guys get the point. My camera sucks, is the point. High ESD Ethernet port protection, long lifespan, also solid caps. I can't talk today. High temperature protection on the MOSFETs. High ESD on the USB ports again. Humidity protection with glass fabric PCB. It's a really cool looking PCB. You'll see it. It's all black, and it's got like a black and gray design, so it's awesome looking. Matches the color scheme I'm gonna do for my build, which is red and black, but I mean black and gray will do just fine for a motherboard. Power failure protection, anti-surge. Alright, so this is I don't have all the stuff in here. I have unboxed it before. And I also have put it in my case, but I took it out because I don't actually have a FM2 or FM2 plus socket CPU with me. I borrowed my uncle's just to make sure everything worked and to set up Windows and everything. So once I get my Gigabyte A10, which is what I'm going to do with 2133 MHz, I'm going to overclock the RAM to 2400 or higher. With my uncle's 1600 megahertz RAM, I can only get it to 2400, so I'm not sure if that's just a motherboard cap or the RAM cap, but either way. So inside you'll get a disc with all the drivers and everything, pretty standard. I do actually recommend doing this because it does have some free stuff, but most of the stuff you can get on the website. Not the Norton security though. It does come with free Norton security, which is pretty cool, but I mean I'm never going to use that, so. And you'd get this in a little plastic bag, but here is the IO shield, and then a multilingual installation guidebook. It's pretty big. It's the European version for some reason. I have no idea. I don't know why I got the European version, but lots of languages in there, so if you're bilingual, English isn't your first language, that's helpful. Here is the user manual, which is just in English, which I like. It's 96 pages long, so you get a lot of nice information here. This actually did help me a lot with the BIOS, because I've never used a UEFI BIOS, which this has, and UEFI BIOSes are pretty cool, and they were nice enough to update this to the F4 version, which is the latest version, and it also supports compared APUs with that version. So keep in mind that if you are going to get this board, and you're going to do a Gigabyte build, you want to have either a friend or someone to have a Richland or Trinity FM2 CPU, so that you can go ahead and upgrade the BIOS. If it's not already upgraded. Mine came nice and upgraded already for me. So then you would also get 4 SATA. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those 1 sec. Well, not all of them, but because I have one of them in my computer right now. Go ahead and grab 3 of them though, if I can find the 3rd one here. Here it is. So this one is a straight connector, straight to straight. It comes in packs of 2. The other one in here was one end was angled and one end was straight. It looks like that's how they did it in here as well, so just like that. so pretty cool. They look pretty sweet too. This motherboard has a lot of cool capabilities, and I mean, for the price of, I got it for $87.99. It wasn't on sale or anything, so I'm guessing that's normal price. It might go down later, but I'm just gonna grab it out here. Again, I have used this board, and it is pretty damn cool, especially with this UEFI BIOS. So let's go ahead and grab it out here. This is the first motherboard that I've bought. It is full-size ATX, which is fine with me. My case supports that. Although it is a little bit long out this way. Height-wise, I guess. Not height-wise. Length, width. The width is a little long. I couldn't, on my case, get this screw hole to line up with any screws. I think there's a couple more that I couldn't really get to line up. I think maybe this one by the RAM, which is kind of an issue, but that's alright. Everything worked, so. Anyways, you get one PCIe X16. You get 3 PCIe X1s, 1 PCIe X4. Oh, by the way, this one is also PCI 3. But you can only do that with like a very, kind of sucks, but whatever. And you get 2 legacy PCI, which is very useful, in fact. And then I got a little thermal paste right there from my uncle's. And then you get 4 RAM slots, up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. 2133 is the highest supported. If you have Gigabyte, of course, you can underclock it and everything, but got thermal paste all over myself. It's horrible. Well, I apologize for the unpreparedness. Anyways, so you get a front audio connector right there, a COM port, a TPM port, 2 front panel USB 2s, and then all your normal front panel connectors and everything. You get 8 SATAs, which are in SATA 3, which is awesome. 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, here's your chipset right there, Northbridge. Over here, again, 4 RAM slots. DDR1, 2, 3, 4. It uses DDR3, of course. You get 1 CPU fan, 4-pin, and then 3 system fans, 2 of which are 4 pins, and 1 of which is a 3-pin. It uses a 24-pin ATX. You also get a front panel USB 3. Here's the south bridge. And you get thermal paste on everything. This is really bad. It has a really nice look, as you can see, with this full black PCB. I'm gonna look like I'm gonna turn off. I don't have any toilet paper in here, do I? Well, I just need a shirt. Okay, there we go. So again, it has a UEFI BIOS, which is freaking sweet. Here's your socket. I actually, what's kind of funny is I didn't want to take off my uncle's heatsink because he had a third-party one, and it's a freaking crazy one. You have to take off these brackets. My current computer is a socket 939. It hasn't been upgraded in forever, so I still got a Athlon X64X2 in there, and 3800 plus. It's not a bad processor, but not for what I want. But it's not good for what I want to do. Anyways, I used that heatsink on here, and it worked just fine. Although it wasn't really loud since it was only a 3-pin fan, and it couldn't throttle it or anything. But that's all right. I'm not a big acoustics guy. I don't really care. Here's the back plate. You get 2 USB 2s right there, and then a PS2 mouse keyboard in one. VGA, dual link DVI, very useful. HDMI with audio over HDMI, which is cool. I've never actually had a computer that could do that. Not even my current graphics card, which is a GT520, can do that. Which I guess it's a really low-end card, so I don't expect it to. But USB 3, 2 USB 3s, Gigabit Ethernet, 2 USB 2s, and then 5.1 audio. And you get optical right there. Okay, I'm gonna drop it. Oh, you also have the SPDIF right there. Yeah, let's see it, but where's the clear CMOS? Right there is the clear CMOS jumper. You can go and trip. So some things I want to go through. Grab that book here so I can show you guys some of the cool features. It has App BIOS and Q Flash, which is cool. So you only have to install an operating system to upgrade the BIOS. Although if you're upgrading from like the very first BIOS to number 3, which adds Kaveri support, then you will need to install through a OS. Pretty much just telling you where all the chips are and everything right here. Kind of looking for the more the technical stuff. So it has an FM2 Plus socket. I've already mentioned that. It can do AMD Athlon series, not X2 Athlon X2, not like mine, which is socket 939. No, definitely not. But anyways, it has A88X. It has support for up to 4 1.5 volts DDR3 DIMMs up to 64 gigabytes. It does quad channel, dual channel, or maybe it doesn't do quad channel, but either way you can have 4, so up to 2133, 1866, blah blah blah. You guys can see all that. It's support for AMP and XMP, which is cool. Tells you about the integrated graphics, which really just depends. Up to 4K support. It has HDMI 1.4a on it. You have up to 2 gigabytes of shared memory, which I've done. It leaves about 5 gigabytes or so, like 5.75 with 8 gigs of RAM. So you still have enough for everything else. Oh, come on, why aren't you focusing? Come on. Come on. Anyways, you have high definition audio with Realtek ALC892 codec. Up to 7.1 channel. I guess I was wrong. It's 7.1, and SPDIF. Up to gigabyte. So that's cool. Tells you all about the PCI slots. I'll let you guys go and read that. Ooh, I'm running out of breath. So you can do dual graphics, which I plan on doing later on. I'm probably going to get like an R7 260X, I think, or maybe 270. Were 2 cool choices that I saw. Although I'm not sure if that's officially supported, but it should do dual graphics just fine. I think. Actually, someone fix me on that if I'm wrong. So again, 6 gigabit SATAs with RAID 0, 1, 5, 10, and JBOD support for RAID. Now this is wrong right here. You only get 3 USB 3 ports, including the header. You get 1 header. So this is wrong. And you only get 6 USB 2s, including the headers. So again, uses 24-pin ATX, 8-pin ATX12, so it uses 8 pins if you would like. I think you can do 4 pins, I'm not 100% sure on that though. All these I've already covered. CMOS, TPM, RJ45, system voltage detection. Has some pretty cool hardware monitoring in this baby here. Here's really the end of it. Dual BIOS is something really cool. If you don't know what that is, basically there's a backup BIOS. In fact, I'll show you the chip right there, where it says B BIOS. You can't really see that, but where it says B BIOS, that is the backup BIOS. The M BIOS is the main BIOS. So basically, if you mess up the main BIOS, it can open. It basically reflashes it with the backup BIOS so that you're safe. It has 2 64 megabits of that, 64 megabits for each, of course. If I could go ahead and focus, that'd be great. Support for dual BIOS, yeah, all this cool stuff. it's got on-off charge, which I'm really excited about. It actually worked. So basically, if you were charging your phone and you shut off your computer, which I've done this so many times, I go to sleep and then I'm like, and I wake up in the morning, my phone is not charged, and then I realize, oh, I shut my computer off before I went to bed, and so it didn't charge, but now it will, which is awesome. You have smart recovery, you can get that. These are included on the disc. Norton is also included on the disc. So you got all the stuff. It supports pretty much every operating system ever. It's full-sized ATX. Seeing if there's anything really important in here that you probably haven't really seen, but everything in here is pretty standard other than all that cool jumbo. Here I have the Revision 3 motherboard, which is cool. Ooh, I've actually never had a motherboard with a PCIe X1 slot, so that's pretty interesting. Maybe it's just the way these PCIes are designed. My board doesn't have these like little fins on the side. It's weird. So yeah, here's your chipset. It's got a really nice heatsink on it. It looks really cool, like this black and gold thing, and then you got the grayscale for everything else. It's a really cool looking Mobo. Sorry, my voice is kind of dying at this point. So you get these cool little caps on the thing, which probably isn't that cool to you guys, but to me that's awesome. Because again, this is my first motherboard that I've bought. So it's my first brand new motherboard that's not secondhand, and it is pretty cool. So here's the socket. Oh, FM. They didn't even call it FM2 Plus. It's made by Foxconn. You guys probably won't be able to see this, but oh my god, my camera's horrible. Come on, focus. You guys can't see that, but maybe you can see. You can read socket. It says socket FM2B instead of plus, which I kind of find funny. So yeah, it's got all the extra little pins and everything that you'd expect for an FM2 Plus board. And only $87.99 for this thing. And it's got so many connectors. Like, I'm pretty sure it has more connectors than my current board has. But I think that one's a mini ATX or micro or something, I don't know. It is smaller than this board here. But this board is much cooler and much better, obviously, considering it's much newer. I'm going to show you the bottom here. Again, you can go ahead and replace the heatsink. I don't know why you would want to, but there's the screws to take it off. Maybe to replace thermal paste. You can overclock these to 6 GHz, the North Bridge at least. I'm not sure about the South Bridge. I've never really checked that. I don't think you can overclock the South Bridge actually, but the North Bridge you can. In fact, I didn't overclock it, but I didn't mess with it. I didn't save the settings or anything, but you can do that. So that's pretty cool. I've never overclocked a bridge before a chipset. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a really long video. I didn't expect it to be this long, but yeah, it's a really cool board, and I highly recommend it if you're gonna do a APU build in the coming months. Especially if it's going to be a Kaveri one, because this thing is going to be great for Kaveri, supporting FM2 Plus obviously, and PCI 3, I'm going to flip these forward, PCI 3 and all of that good stuff, 2133 MHz RAM. This thing will rock for a build. Lotus does a lot of these. They actually did the audio connectors for my other board. Lotus does a lot of stuff, don't they? That's interesting. This one's done by UDE. Lotus. This one doesn't have a name on it. And none of the video connectors have names on them, and this one says Lotus as well, which I find kind of funny. But yeah, it's a really cool board, and I highly recommend it. I can't mention that enough. It's a really nice board. This arm feels really weak. Like, it feels really easy to move. That doesn't feel right to me. So yeah, I have tried fitting my 939 socket in here and it did not work, so in case you're wondering, the 939 socket doesn't work. I don't know why you'd be wondering that, because, you know, the copyright on that. Anyway, that's just me. Stop rambling and let you guys go. So, yeah, this was the board, and it is very nice, and I highly recommend it. Again, here's the name. F2A88X-D3H. And so, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and bye.